Why do you make electronic music?
I find it a very nice way of expressing something that must be expressed inside myself. I grew up really with the early Warp Records stuff.
Okay.
So like the things they were putting out around the, let's say starting from the artificial intelligence series, things were really part of my basic musical education. Yeah, talking about more in general, music without any border, yeah, of course, like I have to say that maybe the most influential thing was Lee Scratch Perry. And for me it's Lee Perry and King Tubby and all these people are really like master, because when I say like isolated community, I think that something so influential can come only from an isolated community. Like you must be isolated from the rest to get something really new and refreshing, and that as Lee Scratch Perry, I guess, is one of the 10 most influential musicians of the last century, with the Stockhausen and few others. You know?
When you start a new track, do you already have a certain idea?
But usually, like, it's not really track by track, it's more about periods of time where I want to look for something in particular, go deeper in one direction or the other. Like I put on myself some discipline when I make music, of course. Like I need something behind, I need to think about it, to speak with different people about the ideas and stuff, the way you produce the stuff, even the techniques that you use, like also to kind of innovate, finding always new way of doing it. I use Ableton and Logic.
Okay.
Like Logic for good high quality sampling, and Ableton mostly as a sequencer because it's really reliable and you can do almost whatever. Like it's very fast in Ableton, the connection between the idea and the hands.
Yes.
You know.
So you think technology influences music?
Of course.
Of course.
Completely. I think
so
that
even you plug in pops out, you know.
Yeah,
like
exactly. But even not just on the production of the tracks, but even a DJ set.
Yes.
Like when I hear a vinyl-based DJ set, I know that it's a different thing, like a completely different category that a DJ set recorded on Tractor, as I play with Tractor, for example.
Yes, sure.
It's really two different kind of products, you know. Like it's so of course technology completely develop the things you are doing, you know. Like,
what does it mean to you being a DJ?
Being a DJ means first of all being a musician and like learn how the sound work in the studio, you know, then bring it to a crowd. But it's also important the way you let them dance. Like they need, like I think that it's kind of a task, I don't know if for the DJ, but or at least for me, to like having them what they wanted but they didn't expect it to want, you know. Use things that you already know, like the so-called floor filler, you know, but use them in another way, mixing them with things that are not so conventional, you know. Let's go beyond the borders and let's see how you react. So yeah, that's the way you try to educate, make. Because if it's not the DJ, who's gonna educate the crowd? So
that's dancing means.
Dancing, but I was a percussionist for a long time. So yeah, dancing is it's one of the main thing about electronic music, I guess. If you see, I was saying too much in the studio without meeting the crowd, you start to be really like in your glass bell, you know.
Yes.
And just autistic, you know.
Yeah.
While like the club is really the moment where your intimate moments of the studio meet the people finally, you know, and you see that strange interaction that makes a magic party, you know. I mean,
do you think electronic music is still developing?
It's really like at the moment, like not 4 years, 5 years ago, but since like 3 years or so, there is something really refreshing around like and what I call techno, that for me is not that genre, but is a feeling, like because when I play techno, I can play Shaketon, I can play Lone, I can play Aim, I can play Bank Clock, whatever. That's for me techno. The underground culture, it's really coming back so strongly, and with a knowledge that in the early 90s they didn't have. Now it's more than clear that the real power is in the hands of the independent labels. and of the underground culture, of the exchanges of ideas and stuff. Like there are so many interesting tracks, demos and stuff that I received that I really need to select, because I should have like 5 labels to put out everything I like, you know, but I can't. So but that's a good sign, you know. There are really a lot of things going on, even like very well established names risking with new albums and stuff, pushing new borders and sounds, like cross-pollinating different genres of electronic music. So all this, it really remembers me the golden age of the early work records, to go back at my influence.